right, well, hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brock Side. And yeah, would you look at that? The channel finally hit 1,000 subscribers a little under a week ago now, so that's super exciting. So thank you to everybody who's gotten the channel to this point. I greatly appreciate it. There were a lot of times where I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but lo and behold, it finally has. But yes, so hopefully everything's coming in pretty good here. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with these solo streams, but yes. So the plan for tonight is if you got any questions about movies, life, whatever, feel free to send them my way. And I've also got a couple digital codes to give away too to celebrate, kind of scatter those in throughout. But yes, so it looks like we got a couple people already joining in. Got Schofield Studios, glad you could make it. And he asks, what's a movie you like that other people hate, and vice versa? That's a good question. There are a lot of movies that I'm generally more in the positive camp for a lot of films. There aren't many I straight up hate. But I guess for one that I like that people hate, one that's immediately coming to mind is probably Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but the movie is definitely the least good out of all the Indiana Jones movies, but I think people are a lot harder on it than they should. It's not without its faults, definitely, but I think there's plenty of redeeming qualities. Probably we'll get into that later this year, though. And as for a movie that I hate that other people like, that's a tough one. I'll have to think on that one more, but Crystal Skull for the one I like that other people hate. He also says, what's a film you think is ruined or saved by its ending? Ruined or saved by its ending? That's also kind of a tricky one, too. Really good questions again. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more. Then we got Soren the Film Brony. Glad you could make it as well. What would you say are the best and worst films of 2022? All right, now this one I could definitely answer. Some of the best ones, just off the top of my mind, are The Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, Nope. And then for worst of 2022, let's see. That one's a little tricky because I think there were a lot of really good movies this year, but I guess if I had to, I would probably I'm trying to think of what all went. Actually, there number one is Morbius, hands down. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with that movie, and now we've got a Kraven the Hunter movie coming out in October, so I'm sure that'll be a pleasant experience. And also there's some other movies that I wasn't crazy about, like Halloween Ends. I know some people have. There is a really good positive camp for that movie that like really like it. I don't hate Halloween Ends, but the trouble with that one is it just feels like a middle chapter, not a final chapter. Like I like the stuff with Corey and him becoming like a kind of a next-gen Michael Myers of sorts, but it just seems like something that should have been established one movie prior, but that's all I'll say about Halloween Ends for right now. It says, what's your most prized possession in terms of Funko, Blu-rays, etc.? Let's see. In terms of Funko, I've got a couple of really good Funko Pops that I really like Captain Underpants. I think I've got them back there, but it'd be kind of hard to get them out there. Captain Underpants, that one was kind of hard to find, but finally have it. Also got Steve from Blue's Clues, are probably two of my absolute favorites. In terms of Blu-rays, that's a really good one, because I have hundreds of them, but let's see, as far as Blu-rays, I'm trying to think, because I got some really cool collector's sets as well, but one of them, I do have a signed copy of The Room on Blu-ray, which I haven't watched the movie yet, but it's autographed by Tommy Wiseau himself, so that's the answer I'll stick with for now. But I've also got a couple other like autographed movies, like I've got the Jimmy Neutron movie, the original. It's autographed by Rob Paulson, Carl Weezer himself, which is pretty cool. And I've also got a DVD of Darkwing Duck Season 1, autographed by Jim Cummings, the voice of Darkwing himself, and Winnie the Pooh, among other things. Let's see here. Schofield Studios, movies that you liked the first time you watched it, and got worse the more times you watched it, and vice versa. Okay, now that's a really good one. Probably one that kind of comes to mind that kind of goes that way, but then comes back a little bit would be The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, it's... Whoops, sorry. Just dropped my phone, but yeah, so that was a movie that when I saw in the theater back in 2014, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. A little messy, but I liked it. And then, like, the more and more I thought about it, I thought to myself, wait a minute, that actually wasn't very good. And then I just kind of avoided the movie for many years, thinking, oh, it's the worst one, it's total garbage, whatever. But then a couple years ago, I decided to give it another chance, and I was like, it's still not great, but I'm definitely have warmed up to it a lot more. A couple more that kind of get worse with each viewing are probably The Rise of Skywalker, Terminator Dark Fate, two movies I haven't revisited all that much, but I have less positive things about them each time I watch them. Let's see, what's a movie where the soundtrack made the film worst or better? Made the film worse or better? I think there are a lot of movies that are enhanced by the soundtrack, like anything with John Williams or Hans Zimmer. They always elevate whatever movie they're working on, even if it's not a masterpiece. Amazing Spider-Man 2, great example. Made the film worse. You know, people like to rag on the 2016 Suicide Squad movie for its, overuse of music, songs and stuff. Makes it like a 2-hour music video. Some of those things I really like a lot of the original songs, like Sucker for Pain and Heathens, those are great uses, but I guess that one has like just too many songs going on in there, and it just seems a little like they're trying too hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy, as far as soundtrack goes. All right, we got fans of something in the crowd. Congratulations on 1K. Thank you very much. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, go check out Fans of Something's YouTube channel. I was just on their live stream a couple of days ago talking Adam Sandler movies, so definitely check them out if you get the chance. Speaking of which, favorite Adam Sandler film? We did talk about that on the live stream, but it's the very basic answer, but gotta go with Billy Madison on that one. It's just peak Adam Sandler humor there, and just some really dumb moments in that just really stand out, like when Adam Sandler's character Billy calls up Steve Buscemi and apologizes for being a bully to him all those years ago, and then Steve Buscemi goes to this list of people to kill and scratch his name off. Just silly stuff like that I've always really appreciated. Let's see, what else we got? Schofield Studios, have you seen Cabinet of Curiosities? If so, what is your favorite episode? I have not seen Cabinet of Curiosities, but I will definitely put it on my watch list. Let's see, Soren the Film Brony, DreamWorks or Disney? Oh, okay. That's a tough one. Because when you say Disney, I'm going to assume that Pixar is kind of squeezed in there too, and I love both studios, DreamWorks and Disney, but I think just because of just overall volume, I'll have to go with Disney. Just, it's a little more nostalgic. I think there's just a lot more, there are so many more characters when you think about the umbrella that is Disney, but DreamWorks is fantastic as well. I love a lot of their movies too, like Shrek and Shrek 2 and Megamind and such. Let's see. I think we missed a couple here. Let's go back. Let's see. Schofield Studios. What's a movie that deserves its own franchise but never got a sequel? I guess one that I can think of immediately is Mystery Men. It's a Ben Stiller movie where him, Hank Azaria, and a handful of others. It's basically a superhero movie, but not like a proper franchise one. Basically, they all play like these quote unquote real life superheroes, and it's a really fun, extremely underrated comedy. It could be really, I think it'd be cool to revisit, but that's probably never going to happen. And also, Jeffrey Rush is the bad guy, which is always a fun time. Okay, so yes, we're probably gonna go for about an hour or so, just depending on how many questions we got, and we'll get to one of the digital codes in just a few minutes here. Let me see. So going back to Soar in the Film Brony, Pixar favorite, least favorite, overrated, underappreciated. Favorite is probably got to be something within the Toy Story franchise. I think 2 is probably my favorite. Least favorite, probably Cars 2. Underappreciated. It's kind of a recency bias thing, but I think Lightyear was underappreciated. That was a movie, actually, kind of going back to a question that Schofield had about liking a movie more as it progressed. That was a movie that I felt disappointed in when I first saw it, and I was like, I feel like they didn't take full advantage of the Buzz Lightyear movie concept, but upon further rewatches, I've begun to like it a lot more. It's not my favorite Pixar movie, but I think it definitely deserves more attention. So then we've got The Upside Dan. Congrats. Thank you, Dan. Glad you could make it. Let's see. We got Rob Christensen. What's up? Glad you could make it. Gotta love the shovel. Congrats again. Love to hang out. But Jim and I are yakking about the sci-fi flick Chung-E in just over an hour. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could stop by. Anyway, though, I was kind of afraid that this was gonna kind of intercept with your stream, but yeah, another channel. If you guys haven't, go check out Rob's channel. He and his co-host Jim overanalyze a movie once a week, and it's a fun time. I've popped up numerous times, so it's a fun time. Hopefully, be doing it again soon. Let's see, Upside Dan. I did not like Lightyear. Lol. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I definitely understand why some people would not like it, and I don't like love it, but I've learned to appreciate it more. Let's see, so with the film Brony, now that Johnny Depp has been proven innocent, do you think they should make a Pirates 6, or do you think Johnny should move on to other projects? That's a tough one, because number one, I love Pirates of the Caribbean, and it definitely would not be the same without him, but on the flip side, I'm not really sure there's a whole lot more you could do with it, and honestly, it's one of those things that might just be time to move on from the franchise overall, Johnny Depp included. But I'm sure they'll find some way to bring it back in some capacity. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't, fast-tracked a Disney Plus show or something. Let's see, Upside Dan, first 20 minutes were amazing. I'm assuming you're talking about Lightyear, which, yep, absolutely. There's that one moment that makes everybody tear up, myself included. Schofield Studios, what's a movie that made you hungry? Let's see, one that comes to mind is Over the Hedge, DreamWorks movie. It's a movie about animals stealing a bunch of food from a suburbia. So that's an obvious one, but that one always makes me hungry. Couple other ones, I guess, are that Feast and Hook is always a good one, and every time I watch Iron Man 1, it makes me crave a cheeseburger. Then we got Ryan Cam. Congratulations, my friend. Well, thank you very much, Ryan. I'm glad you could make it. Alright, so 15 minutes in and got a bunch of cool kids showing up, so that's awesome. Let's see, so in the film Brony, what's a Disney movie you feel deserves a live-action remake? Ooh, that's a really good question. Well, let's see, what's already gotten a live-action remake? Because so many things already have, like Cinderella, Snow White's about to have one, Jungle Book, that's the best one in my opinion. I would like to see what they do with a live-action Tarzan movie at some point. because I think that could be like Jungle Book levels of good, especially if the soundtrack is anywhere as good as Phil Collins from the animated movie. Tarzan's one of my all-time favorite animated Disney movies, so yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to see them tackle Tarzan again at some point. Let's see, Marvel or DC, not just the cinematic universes. Well, I'll start with the political answer and saying I love both. They both have a lot of value, but I think ultimately I would lean more towards DC just generally. Not just because they've got, Batman, my all-time favorite character, or anything like that, but I guess I just kind of had more of a DC upbringing than Marvel, because of course I grew up in the early 2000s when, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy was coming out and several other Marvel movies, and then, the Dark Knight trilogy was booting up. But I think there was just more DC in the background, like animated shows and, rentals from Hollywood Video and stuff. And I don't know, there's just something about their universe I just kind of latched onto a little bit more, like Gotham City, Metropolis, so many other things. But so yeah, I guess I'm more DC oriented, but I'm always first in line for whatever Marvel puts out too. So you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. Okay, so let's see if I missed anybody else's comments so far. Franchise never got a sequel. Oh, okay, I did miss one. Back to Schofield for a second. Do you think Back to the Future should get a reboot after a couple decades? Nope. No. Leave Back to the Future alone, damn it. That's the one franchise. Just leave it alone. Or just wait until I'm dead. Then you can do it, okay? If they wanted to do like some sort of animated sequel or like a new animated series, that's one thing, but a complete reboot, I am definitely not for that. And also Robert Zemeckis, Bob Gale, Steven Spielberg, they've all said you'll have to reboot it when you pry it from their cold dead hands, so we're safe from a reboot for at least a little while. Let's see here. Ryan Cam, how long was the filming of that Blu-ray collection video? That video takes longer and longer and longer every single year. Let's see. This year was probably at least 3 to 4 hours, if I had to guess. The final video was like an hour and a half or so, but yes, probably took at least 4 hours. Like, it basically took all day between setup, filming, and I didn't want to just take all the movies off the shelf, put them on the floor, and do it that way. Try to do it in a way that I could do like one shelf, go through them in order, and then quickly put them back up. But that didn't work out too greatly because I just kind of had to shove them back on the shelf and then just played a big game of reorganization after I was done. But yeah, that's one video you gotta mentally and physically prepare for. Alright, so in the film Brony, what is a particular thing you really want to get, but is extremely expensive and or hard to get? Funko, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. Well, in terms of Blu-ray, I've really wanted to get the X-Files complete series box set on Blu-ray. It's one of those things I've meant to get for ages now, and it's gotten rather expensive, unfortunately. Let's see. As far as Funko is concerned, I think I've got pretty much all the quote-unquote expensive or hard-to-find pops I really want. None of them I have are particularly like rare, but some of them are a little pricier. So I think as far as like Funko goes, I'm kind of secure in that. Although it would be really cool now that I think about it, to get like a couple of the Breaking Bad Funko Pops, because they've got some really cool like Walter White ones. Like there's this one Heisenberg pop that looks like it's made of the blue crystal, which is really cool. Those are insanely expensive. I don't think I could ever justify spending hundreds on those, but it's like maybe someday. And as far as DVD is concerned, DVD I think I'm okay with as well. But good question. Okay, so we've been going for about 20 minutes now, so I think it's time to give away one of these codes. I've got three to give away. So what I'll do is I will just kind of flash them on the screen for a moment, and hopefully everyone will have time to snatch it up, or you'll have to watch the replay later. But code number one is going to be Casablanca. This came to 4K a few months ago, and Warner Brothers was cool enough to send me a copy of it. And so yeah, we'll just kind of show that real quick. And I've got some more exciting ones too later on, so stay tuned. All right, so there's the code for Casablanca. If it wants to focus, there you go. Going once, going twice, and it's gone. All right, so that's one code down. If anybody was able to snatch it in time, congratulations. And we'll get to the other ones as the night progresses here. Alright, so in the film Brony once again. If you're watching any current shows at the moment, what's your favorite one? I'm watching a couple shows right now, like pretty much everybody else right now. I'm watching the Last of Us HBO show, and we're only one episode in. The next one drops in a couple hours, but I've liked it so far. I haven't played much of the game itself. I think I've played maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth, so I think I'm pretty much caught up to the pilot episode, but yeah, I don't know. I might try to finish the game at some point, maybe after the show's over. We'll see. Let's see. Any other current shows? The rest of the shows I'm watching right now aren't really current, so to speak, but I've been watching Hoarders lately for some reason. Because sometimes you just gotta watch your garbage reality shows, and watching Hoarders makes you feel better about yourself. Also, a little bit of Hotel Hell, which is Gordon Ramsay's show where he went to struggling hotels to try to save them. Basically, kitchen nightmares with a hotel. That's a fun time. I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan. Favorite movie and/or show from your childhood? I don't think I have one particular favorite movie or show from my childhood, so I'll just kind of name off a few of them. As far as TV shows concerned, pretty much anything that was on Nickelodeon from like 2000 to 2007, like Ned's Declassified, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101. Some of my absolute favorites, those definitely get the nostalgia pumping in my veins, so to speak. And also, we're getting a Zoe 101 reunion movie in a few months, so I'm super pumped for that. Favorite movie or show? I mentioned earlier, but the Jimmy Neutron movie, the one that came before the show, that's an easy one to think about. The Toy Story movies, Monsters Inc., Incredibles, a lot of Pixar stuff, so kind of influenced my one answer there. So, yeah, just a little insight into my childhood there. Upside Down, seen any movies in theaters in January? Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. I saw Megan and Plane so far, both at advanced screenings, and I really enjoyed both of them. Plane was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. I figured it was just gonna be like some fun, dumb popcorn January movie with Gerard Butler, which is something he excels at a lot lately, and it was, but actually was better than I anticipated. As far as Megan goes, I like that one as well. I'm not like over the moon like some people are, but I think it's got a lot of potential for more movies, and I don't mind the PG-13 rating. I know some are complaining, but hey, I guess it can kind of be like a gateway horror film, so to speak. So, if someone wants to tiptoe into horror, they can start with a PG-13 movie. You gotta have those once in a while. That's what Dan says, really like Plane. Yeah, it was a good time. Megan, not as much as everyone, lol. Yeah, I mean, it may be just a smidge overhyped, but I'm also happy it's doing well, too, because it's a solid movie. Let's see, thoughts on the WB Discovery merger? Where do we even start with that? I think a lot of us thought it was going to be just like smooth sailing once Discovery acquired Warner Brothers thinking, oh, DC's gonna get back on track and stuff, and then of course they canceled the Batgirl movie for tax purposes, and they started taking a bunch of stuff off of HBO Max for further tax purposes, just wiping it out of existence completely. So, it's kind of torn at the moment, but I think having James Gunn and Peter Safran be the heads of an actual DC studio was a major step in the right direction. I know a lot of people are giving them crap right now for putting them, some of the decisions they're making, but I think in like a year or two, it'll work out just fine. So I'm hoping at least. Let's see, Upside Down. Plane was such a surprise, and Missing was really good. Yeah, I've heard Missing is really good, and I didn't get to see it Thursday night like I normally would have because the screenings were just way too late at night. But I'm definitely going to check it out soon, hopefully this week. I haven't seen Searching though, so I don't know if that's going to affect my viewing experience. Let's see here. Do you think James Gunn should use the Batman as a starting point for their DCEU revamp, or should they be separate universes? That's a good question. Part of me is like immediately going, oh, keep them separate, leave Matt Reeves and company alone. But part of me is also like, maybe they should build the new DC universe off of what Matt Reeves is doing, because I think there is a way you can still have his self-contained Batverse, but still have the other DC heroes out there too. Like the Bruce Timm DC animated universe is a prime example, because you've got Batman the Animated Series, you got Superman, Justice League Unlimited, so on and so forth, where, yeah, Batman is set in that universe, but it's still its own entity. You don't have to have watched the rest of them to enjoy it. So I think that's a great example of how they could do that. And also, I just really don't want to see yet another live-action Batman, since Ben Affleck is probably done by now. And also, I think, how many more times can general audiences, accept a brand new Batman in less than 10 years, Because you went from Christian Bale, 4 years later, Ben Affleck, and then, a few years later, Robert Pattinson, then Michael Keaton's gonna come back, and then Ben Affleck's kind of coming back, and now they're getting wiped out, and Michael Keaton might be sticking around, so... Yeah, I'm torn. But probably it's ultimately in their best interest to keep Matt Reeves' stuff separate. But if they do have a new live-action Batman, I want that Batman to have like the blue mask and the cape and the yellow oval. Just go full comic book with him. Maybe the white eyes. I don't know. We got Upside Down with a super chat. Just cuss. Well, thanks. Thank you very much, Dan. That's really cool. You didn't have to do that. But yeah, greatly appreciate that. I can buy a McChicken with that. Let's see, Upside Down. You don't have to see Searching, but Searching is really good. Both are solid, I think. Yeah, I've heard good things about Searching. Is it streaming anywhere though? Like on HBO or anything like that? But yeah, I'll probably give it a watch. Let's see. So in the film, Brony, best Batman and Superman actors. Let's see. Well, I think all the Batman actors and the Superman actors, respectively, have done a really good job in their roles. I love Christian Bale just because he's the one I more or less grew up with. Michael Keaton is obviously he's the OG, and there's just certain things about his performance I love, like the fact that he just has this very silent confidence to him. Like anytime he's just walking down the streets, like screw you, I'm Batman, without trying too hard, But as far as best is concerned, I think it might be a tie between Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson. Like there are so many, both actors got so many things right about those characters, but they're also playing two different versions of Batman. One's just starting out, and others, 20 years in, older, more jaded, more brutal, which I think works. So I think just for simplicity's sake, I'll gotta go for the recent option and just say Robert Pattinson. I think probably after one more movie, I could definitely give Robert Pattinson my vote. That's Upside Down, own it, so I watched on digital, so I'm not sure. Okay. Uh, it might be on HBO or Netflix or something, so I'll definitely check it out. Just rewatched it. Very, very nice. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Searching 2018. It's gotta be somewhere. Okay, it doesn't look like it's streaming for free anywhere. You gotta pay to rent it or whatever, but no big deal. I get the gist of it, so I think if I go into missing without seeing it, I'll survive. Okay, so in the film, Brony, what are some Marvel and DC characters you want to see portrayed in live action? I think he was portrayed in live action on a TV show once, but I think Lobo would be really cool to see in live action. I think he showed up in Krypton, that short-lived prequel show. But I think it'd be so cool to see him in a big budget movie, like in the next Superman or something. Marvel, probably the one I want to see hands down is Miles Morales at some point. I think that's probably where the MCU is going to go with Spider-Man. Maybe not immediately, but they'll probably introduce him pretty soon, and then he'll take over for Tom Holland in a few years. But yeah, definitely, when Miles Morales finally comes to live action, there will be world peace. Hopefully. All right. Wow, has it been 30 minutes already? That's crazy. Okay, so let me just take a look through some of the recent comments, make sure I'm not missing anything again. Missing was really good. Okay. Ending. Okay, so I think just kind of going back to this question for a second, with Schofield Studios asking what a film I think is ruined or saved by its ending. People generally don't care much for Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. It's definitely an inferior sequel, but I think I really like its ending though, where Judgment Day basically happens and John Connor is in that bunker at the very end, and the war's about to break out. I think that would have been a really cool way to just end the series right there, saying, try to stop it, but the war is inevitable. So I think that's definitely one of those movies where the ending is an improvement. So going back to Soaring the film, Brony, for a moment, since Jason Momoa is already Aquaman, it would be awesome to see Danny Trejo as Lobo. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Danny Trejo as Lobo, that might be perfect casting right there. I could see it. Just Danny Trejo, but with like white skin, red eyes, and just in a biker outfit. Okay, James Gunn, if you're watching, please do that. That would be amazing. Although it would be kind of interesting to see like Jason Momoa duo playing Aquaman and Lobo in like split universes. So, and that could be a possibility too. We don't really know what the future for DC is going to be just yet, but we're supposed to get some sort of idea pretty soon, or at least James Gunn's been teasing that on Twitter a lot. Let's see here. But yeah, Danny Trejo, somebody I'm surprised hasn't really shown up in any comic book properties yet. He and Gerard Butler, I'm kind of surprised neither of them have popped up anywhere yet. I don't know who Gerard Butler could play in either Marvel or DC, but I think it'd be kind of cool if he showed up somewhere. Maybe in the next Thor movie or something. Okay, let me turn. We're going to sequel, Back to the Future reboot, definitely don't want that. Oh wait, okay, here we got another one in just a second here, just lost it. Let's see. Schofield Studios movie with bad contrast. I'm assuming you're referring to like a home video release, like a Blu-ray or a 4K. I don't know so much about contrast, but a bad transfer that comes to mind immediately is the Pirates of the Caribbean 4K re-release from last January. That was a severely disappointing transfer. I was really hoping a 4K of the first Pirates was going to be amazing, but it just feels very thrown together, and it does not do the movie justice, which is a problem because the movie takes place primarily at night in the dark in, caves or spooky pirate ships. So the contrast does not do that movie any favors. If you have the Blu-ray, stick with that. Alright, so in the film bronies, since Chris Hemsworth is taking a break due to Alzheimer's, how should they handle the Thor character, recast, or kill him off like they did with T'Challa? That's an interesting question because, the T'Challa thing's not really the same situation, but I don't know. I feel like Chris Hemsworth would probably come back at least one last time for Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars or whatever, but honestly, I feel like Thor's story in the MCU is pretty much at its end by now, at post Endgame and then, Love and Thunder, which that movie kind of has left a poor taste in my mouth anyway, so, but yeah, I don't know, I think it could be one of those things where maybe Thor either retires or dies. I think if they killed him off like in Secret Wars or whatever, I think that could have a big impact, on the line of Captain America and Iron Man dying. So honestly, I think that might be just the better way to go, regardless of Chris Hemsworth's situation. I hope it all works out for him, though. Yep. Okay. First 20 minutes. Let's see here. Any past Marvel actors you want to see in Secret Wars? Well, there is a rumor that pretty much at least a couple actors from every past Marvel project are going to be in here. So I feel like it's fairly likely we're going to see Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman come back. Probably Andrew Garfield too. That would be amazing. There's a rumor that Tobey and Hugh are going to interact with each other, which that is going to make so many people extremely happy, myself included, because, they were rising up in their popularity around the same time, and also there was supposed to be a Wolverine cameo in a post-credit scene with Spider-Man 1, but there were some issues with the costume, so finally getting to see that realize would be super cool. But I would like to see the 2005 Fantastic Four cast come back. I think that'd be so cool. Honestly, say what you want about those movies, but I think the casting was perfect. I mean, Ewan Grufford is Mr. Fantastic, Michael Chiklis is The Thing, Chris Evans as Human Torch. That I want to see just because it'd be kind of cool because, Chris Evans was both Captain America and Human Torch, so I think that could lead to some fun moments on camera, so definitely like to see them. But I think if there was one that if he shows up in it, I'm gonna lose my mind and I'll just see it 6 more times just because of that, would be probably Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. If they get him in there, I'll lose it. That'll be so cool. Ghost Rider 1, very underrated in my opinion. So in the film, Brody, again, what's your ideal casting for the MCU Fantastic Four? I don't really have any strong opinions as far as the casting of the Fantastic Four is concerned. I know John Krasinski was the popular choice for a while until he showed up in Multiverse of Madness. And, he didn't really get a whole lot of time to shine there, so I'd be open to him playing Mr. Fantastic, but yeah, otherwise, I think as far as maybe like Human Torch is concerned, I think maybe Mason Gooding could be a cool Johnny Storm. He was in the recent Scream movie. He's gonna be in the sixth one as well. I think he could be pretty cool, but maybe Glenn Powell too. I don't know, but I'm sure Marvel will cast the right actors at the end of the day. Can't wait to see what they do with Doctor Doom at some point, because they definitely got to be working towards bringing him in. Okay, 40 minutes. Very nice. Okay, so I think since we're about 40 minutes in, we'll give away another one of these codes. So code number 2 is going to be for everybody's favorite comic book movie of 2022, Black Adam. Yeah, this was definitely not the best DC movie ever, but I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. And if one of you gets this code in a second, you might feel the same way. So just gonna put that up on the screen real quick. All right. There's a code for Black Adam. Take it if you wish. Going once, going twice, and sold. I think, I hope, I fear. It's a shame that Black Adam didn't work out though, because I think there's a lot of potential there, especially with, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, whom we're probably never going to see again at this point, and of course that Superman post-credit scene, which is now like the biggest tease ever, because it's going to lead to absolutely nothing now, and also the fact that now we're probably never going to see Shazam and Black Adam square off, even though they're existing in live action at the same time. That's a major injustice right there, but that's all I'm going to say about Black Adam for now. Upside Down, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's Black Adam in a nutshell right there. It's got some cool visuals and some of the action is fun. Dwayne Johnson's one of those guys that, I'll still pay to see him in whatever movie he's in, just because it's fun to watch him do stuff, even though he basically plays the same character over and over again. But yeah, a lot of fun happening at DC right now. And we still don't have the Flash movie yet, but come June, that should change. Alright. The chat is definitely a lot more lively than I was expecting. I wasn't sure how many people would get to tune in tonight, because it's, 6 o'clock on a Sunday, which people are usually like, having dinner or sleeping or spending time with their loved ones. But not me. Yeah, this was originally supposed to be last night, but then some stuff came up, so I had to delay it. But I'm glad finally got to celebrate 1,000 subs like this. And alright, we got Zach Milner Talks Movies. Glad you could make it, man. Dude, congrats on 1K. Really deserve. Admire your work ethic, creativity, skill, and talent. Looking forward to your continued success. I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, since I'm just kind of shouting out everybody, definitely, if you haven't already, go check out Zach's channel. He's got a really cool weekly live show, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, and we've also collabed once or twice. I was on his live show a few months ago, and he collabed with me and Joey's movie blog on Spider-Man No Way Home on Blu-ray, which, speaking of which, that digital code is coming up in a few minutes. And, alright, so we'll just kind of go back to Soaring the Film Brony. What videos do you want to do sometime in 2023? Oh, I've got a lot of ideas planned for 2023. Well, first of all, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny comes out in June. That's my #1 most anticipated movie of the year. So there's going to be a lot of Indiana Jones content planned. For sure, there's going to be a merch hunting video, no questions asked. I just ordered a really high quality fedora for pretty much exactly that. Probably some other stuff too. Might be an Indiana Jones History of Hype in there. We'll see in some other stuff pertaining to Indiana Jones, which I don't want to get into just yet, because, I don't want to give it all away right now. But yeah, hoping to do some of those. I would like to try to do a little more History of Hype this year, because only made 3 episodes last year, and 3 before that, but that was the beginning. Yeah, I enjoy making those videos a lot. The trouble is they take a long time to make. It takes like a solid 2 or 3 weeks to produce one. So just kind of a matter of having enough time to work on those. But yeah, hopefully I can do more of those. Probably gonna try to do like monthly rankings of every release that month, like January movies ranked or whatever. I just really want to keep experimenting a bit with stuff like that. I want to talk more about like movie-based video games a bit. It's a subject I enjoy talking about a lot, so I'm gonna try that a little bit. And of course, lots of IMAX reviews gonna be coming throughout the year because those videos have gotten a really good response, and they're a big part of why we're at 1,000. So look out for that. But there should be plenty of other surprises along the way. 1 second. Alright, Zach Miller Talks Movies. Just watched The Whale. Did you see it? Thoughts? I did see it back in late December, I think. And yeah, I really liked it. It's an extremely heavy watch. That's not a fat joke. It's really a heavy watch. There's some really wholesome moments in there, but then there are a lot of like really dark and depressing moments that almost made me want to walk out of the theater when I saw them. But ultimately, I actually really liked the movie. The ending was beautiful, and Brendan Fraser, of course, gives an absolutely incredible performance, and just the way his character, just despite everything that's ever happened to him, he just still sees the good in everybody, even though other people might not see it that way, like his daughter, Sadie Sink, who does some questionable things. She's kind of, in the rough crowd, so to speak. There's some people that absolutely hate her character and just think she's a terrible person, and you could make that argument, yes, but I think it's just the way Charlie, Brendan Fraser's character, just perceives her as just not, inherently bad. She's actually doing good, like, helping the one missionary with what's going on in his life. I don't want to spoil it, but, it's just like, you can see it either way, and it's a phenomenal movie. I'll probably get it physically when it comes out to Blu-ray. Not sure how often I'm going to rewatch it, but I think I will definitely own it though. Soarin' the Film Brony, Brendan Fraser needs that Oscar in his hands for that role. Him or Austin Butler for Elvis? Absolutely agree. Brendan Fraser, this is kind of like his big comeback role, and he just puts everything into it. But Austin Butler for Elvis is somebody I definitely would not mind seeing take home the statue too. I honestly absolutely loved Elvis the more I think about it. Like, it's one of those movies that when I first saw it, I liked it, like, a bit, but, like, every time I think about it or rewatch, I'm like, you know what? Elvis was actually a fantastic movie. There's certain elements that are a little questionable, like Tom Hanks' performance and the makeup, and some of the editing can be a little eccentric, but that's just Baz Luhrmann's style. But I absolutely loved Elvis, one of my favorite movies of the year, so I would definitely not mind Austin Butler taking home the gold for that. It'd be a fair trade-off, I think. Upside Down, like The Whale as well. I'm glad you think that way. And also, since I was going to shout you out sooner, Dan, sorry about that, but also go check out The Upside Down. He does a lot of 4DX reviews, so if you like seeing movies in that format, but you want to know if you should check it out beforehand, go check out his videos. And Dan, well, I've got you here. This is a few months away, but I'm thinking maybe we should collab on Fast and Furious 10. Like, we could get down and compare the IMAX to the 4DX or something. So just keep that in mind for a few months. Zach, beautifully said. Hope Fraser wins the Oscar. I do too, but honestly, even if he doesn't, it's already getting so much buzz. Like, I think he just won the Golden Globe for his performance in there, so even if the Academy does not recognize it, it's still a great performance, and it's still getting recognized by literally everybody else. So, but if he does, fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong. Upside Down, yeah, I think it's him, Austin Butler, or Colin Farrell for Banshees. I still have not seen Banshees yet. It's on HBO Max, so I'm probably gonna watch it really soon. Maybe even tonight, for that fact. See, I can't comment on Colin Farrell, but I've heard good things. But yeah, if Austin Butler wins, fantastic. If Brendan Fraser wins, equally as fantastic. Let's see. So in the film, Brony, thoughts on The Simpsons and SpongeBob? I thoroughly enjoy both. SpongeBob is a massively nostalgic show for me. You know, I grew up in peak SpongeBob times, so to speak. And, you know, I love the show, the characters. It's just, the first few seasons especially, the characters are so fun, the situations, and it's just so damn funny too. Like, so many moments that just make me laugh my ass off even today, just especially with Patrick, you know, like in that episode where they adopt that baby clam and SpongeBob was like, he can't even fly yet. Oh, what's wrong with him? Is he stupid? It's such a great show. I love it to death. I love the movies too, and the video games as well. Battle for Bikini Bottom, especially in the first movies tie-in game. Deeply rooted nostalgia. SpongeBob fan club for life. The Simpsons. Love The Simpsons as well. I'm not super critical on like the newer seasons, but I haven't watched the newer ones too much. But I love that. I love it too. You know, it's another one of those shows where it's just a lot of great situations. The characters are so iconic, and also the Simpsons rides and stuff at Universal Studios, tons of fun. Love The Simpsons. Let's see, Upside Down, thank you. You're absolutely welcome. I hope that we'll be celebrating your 1,000 subscribers at some point this year. And yeah, that sounds good. I think that referring to the video suggestion there. So yeah, we'll definitely kind of play that by ear a little bit. All right, now then we got Mid-Level Media. Happy 1,000, Brockman. Thank you very much, Ken. Yeah, glad you could make it. Yeah, super cool. This is the second time I've seen you on a live stream this week. Because again, a few days ago I was on Fans of Something's channel where we were talking Adam Sandler, and you popped up there as well. But yeah, glad to have you with us here. All right, so the chat's really on fire tonight. My goodness. But yeah, so I'm hoping one of my goals for 2023 as well is going to be hopefully doing some sort of regular live show too. Probably not weekly like some people do, but maybe like bi-monthly or once a month. I think it'd be kind of cool. You're just gonna get to hang out for like an hour or two, just to talk movies and stuff. So I'll something we're working on. So stay tuned for that. All right, Soren the Film Brony. Don't have anything else to ask, so just leave by saying congrats on 1K. And here's Steve Moore. Well, thank you very much, Soren. I appreciate your constant support over the last X amount of months or so, and I'm glad you could stop by. You had a lot of good questions, and I hopefully answered them reasonably. But yes, so we're coming up on almost an hour here. I'm not gonna cap it off at exactly 7 p.m. So if people got more things they want to ask, feel free. But yeah, but I guess since we're kind of coming up on an hour here, I'll give away the third and final code of the night, which I've already given away what it is. It's gonna be Spider-Man No Way Home, and the ironic thing with this code is that like I mentioned earlier, I did a Blu-ray review of it back in April when it came out. It was a big collab with myself, Zach, and Joey's movie blog, which was a lot of fun. One of my favorite videos I did last year. But I always give away the digital codes in those videos. But weirdly enough, nobody tried to get the No Way Home code, which is extremely odd. But also that video came out a week later, which is basically a big no-no for Blu-ray reviews, but I still wanted to get it out. But that's neither here nor there, but it's been almost a year. I'm going to give away here. So if you want to see all three Spider-Man together in digital form, well, I got one of you covered. So there's a code for No Way Home. I'll give it a couple extra seconds because I want to make sure somebody gets this movie because I love it to death. Major comfort movie, but alright. It's going away in 3, 2, pizza time. Alright, so those are all the codes. There probably were more that I could give away, but those are just the 3 I could find immediately. Let's see. Upside Dan, did you like the Scream 6 trailer? Yes, I did. I haven't seen Scream 3 or 4, but I've seen the other ones. I really enjoyed Scream 5, and I like they're going in a slightly different direction with Scream 6 being set in New York, which is a massive city, which is a different setting from the other movies. I think there's a lot of potential there. You see the new Ghostface wielding a shotgun, which is cool. But also, I think the idea of having a movie like that set in New York, where just because there's a lot of people around doesn't mean they're going to help you. You know, it's called the bystander effect, which is basically what I just described. Comes from the Kitty Genovese murder from many decades ago. If you don't know about that, look it up. So I think there's a lot of potential for some serious shit to go down in Scream 6. I feel like that movie's also going to be rather divisive too, but, you know, we got to have an actual conversation about movies once in a while, so bring it on, I say. Also, the Ghostface Museum or whatever, really cool. Alright, we got J-Mac, sub to all the people in the Adam Sandler Best Of stream. Very nice, appreciate the support. That was a fun stream too. I don't think I was as massive a Adam Sandler fan as some people on that stream, but it was still a lot of fun. Upside Dan, wait, all 3 Spider-Men are in No Way Home? Oh, dang, spoilers, I'm sorry. But really, if you don't know that by now, go outside and touch grass. Shoot. Fun thing about that, though, is I actually have some artwork based on No Way Home in my home theater right now. It's this giant splash page artwork of all 3 Spider-Men and the 5 villains and from the Statue of Liberty. Super cool. Got it at a convention in February. I'd show it, but again, it's in another room. There's a picture on my Twitter and Instagram about it, but really cool. It's right next to my Batman 89 poster. Ha 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 ha. I know, funny joke, right? Alright, so yeah, we've been going for almost an hour. It's kind of crazy how quickly these things pass by, so yeah, we'll keep it going for just a little bit longer here. Don't want to cut things off too abruptly. Just taking another drink here, but I'm getting dry mouth here. Rocking the Funko Pop Thanos glass here. I've also got a Hulk one too. Some of my favorite drinkware. J-Mac, favorite Batman film? Now, that's a really tough question because, again, Batman's my favorite superhero of all time, possibly my favorite fictional character ever. But favorite Batman film? Well, The Batman, absolutely fantastic movie. So that one's top contender. The Dark Knight, Batman Begins. That's a really tough one. Holy shoot. Yeah, I think The Batman might just do it. That's one of those movies that I have not been able to stop thinking about, and I've rewatched it so many times since it's come out, so it might be recency bias getting to me, but I'm gonna go with The Batman, with pretty much the Dark Knight trilogy being a very close second. I love all 3 of those, especially Batman Begins and Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises is fantastic as well, though. Just 3 excellent movies, and I can't wait for Chris Nolan to see what he does with Oppenheimer and IMAX in a few months. I just want to see what they do with the how they somehow recreated the atomic bomb blast practically. At least that's what I've heard. So that's going to be one hell of a theater experience. And it's coming out the same day as Greta Gerwig's Barbie. So that is going to be the greatest double feature of all time. Okay. Alright, and just like that, it's been officially an hour. So yes, here we go. Here, Upside Down, 40x for Oppenheimer. Ooh. I don't even know what that's going to be like. It's not action-oriented, so there wouldn't be probably a lot of movement in the seats and stuff, but there's also, like the smoke and the water splashing. Who knows, they might upgrade every 40X theater to have, fire coming out of the seats or something, so it'll feel like you're in a nuclear blast, but... Honestly, if they do put that movie in 40X, I will check it out just out of morbid curiosity. Let's see. Doubt they'll do it. Yeah, me too, but if they do, that would be interesting. I've only seen probably 2 movies in 40X so far. It might actually be 1. Because I think my 5th showing of The Force Awakens, I saw it 5 times, was at Mall of America in Minneapolis, and that was either 40X or it was D-Box, which is a similar thing, where just kind of the seats move and stuff. So that might be 40X. I'm not sure, but the only other 40X movie I've seen is Fast and Furious 9 back in 2021. That was kind of cool with the seats moving and the strobe light effects and the smoke coming out. The smoke was a little distracting in some parts, but that was cool. I would definitely be down to see Fast X in 40X to see what it's like. And if we do that video in May, then I'll have no choice but to. Let's see. Upside Down didn't end up going to F9 40X. Well, what the hell, Dan? You're the 40X guy. Get with it. I'm just messing with you. Were you doing the 40X reviews by then? I don't remember. Because I know you did them for some Harry Potter re-releases in the fall of 2021. But when did you actually start doing the 40X videos? But big action movie, cars going, I think it's definitely would be worth the 40X. But also, I'm not the expert here, so... Upside Down, your theater with an IMAX is closing, so no more IMAX. Oh. Well, that sucks. Well, that's unfortunate, but, okay. That puts a damper on things a little bit. Well, I think we could still do that video, though, just kind of argue both sides. If you do the 40X for Fast X to the IMAX, we can just kind of talk it out a little bit. But that's unfortunate, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Me, where I live in Las Vegas, so I'm very spoiled with the theater options. It's there's several IMAX theaters, Dolby not far away, so I forget that not everybody has the luxury of so many options around me. Not sure when it's closing. I'm assuming it's a Regal theater with the IMAX, because a lot of them are supposed to be closing down soon. In fact, there's one in Vegas that's going to close down soon. Thankfully, it's not one that I go to all that often, but it still sucks because the theatrical experience needs to stay alive forever and ever. And I think it still will survive, though, because Top Gun, Avatar, whenever the next Avengers is coming out, it'll stick around, and I think movie theaters are making a bit of a normal resurgence as we speak, but it's really unfortunate. So yeah, it was a Regal. That's a shame. I'm assuming you don't have AMC near you, do you? Which means no Nicole Kidman bumper for you. 2 Regals are closing near you. Oh man, that's 2. That sucks, man. Yeah, cause you're like what, near New York, right? Let's say took a couple breaks from YouTube when I started 40x. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we've all taken breaks though, so. But honestly, dude, you're doing a great job with the 40x videos. Keep them up. People apparently like to watch reviews about movies in particular formats, as we've both discovered. Let's see, if 2 AMCs, but neither have premium formats. Buffalo. Okay. Really, 2 AMCs, but no IMAX or Dolby or anything, huh? I mean, Dolby I get because there's only X amount of Dolby theaters out there. But, that's unfortunate. Did you get to see Avatar, Way of Water in IMAX or just 40x? Just out of curiosity. Huh. So 2 Regals closing near you. Damn. And I thought the one closing in my town was a shame too. Wow. Yeah, fun fact, I bought stock in AMC in 2021 when everyone was buying that up. I've not earned any money off of it, mind you, but, it's still kind of cool to have stock in that. Cost me like $20 or whatever. And I'll hold on to it for probably ever. Just 'cause it's kind of cool to say, I own stock in this theater. Don't you know who I am? That's totally me when I go to the movies, right? Okay, so let's see. We've been going for a little over an hour now, so I think we'll probably keep going till about maybe 7:20, 7:30 or so, then kind of call it quits there. I think a few people have had to dip between the start and before, so they're kind of winding down a little bit. Just want to make sure I get to any comments that come through. So Upside Down, 40x 3D, RPX 3D, and 2D standard, but I think I want to see an IMAX 3D, especially now that it's closing. You're talking about Avatar, right? So you saw it in all those formats? RPX 3D. I've heard of RPX, but I don't think I've ever actually experienced it. IMAX-ish. So I'm guessing it's like big screen, cool sound system. Is it kind of like Cinemark XD, which is kind of like pseudo IMAX? Avatar, yeah, 3 times. I saw it 3 times as well. Once in Dolby 3D for the advanced screening, which was cool as shit. Never been to a 3D advanced screening, let alone in Dolby. That was incredible. Saw it opening night, IMAX 3D. Not the usual IMAX I go to just because of location stuff, but that was cool. And then I saw it a 3rd time in IMAX Laser 3D, which if you have the chance to see a movie in Laser IMAX or Laser IMAX 3D, do it. It was absolutely incredible. Let's see, a stand, big screen, loud sound with the seats, kind of vibrate with the sound. So yeah, it kind of sounds like Cinemark XD with that one. I don't think the seats like do anything fancy with Cinemark XD. I bring that up because before I had AMC A-List, I used to go to Cinemark for all movie releases, and the one I went to all the time doesn't have IMAX. It's got Cinemark XD, which Cinemark XD I haven't experienced in many years just because of having A-List and not paying for individual tickets anymore. I think I'm gonna try Cinemark XD again in the near future, though. Kind of compare it a little bit. Let's see, they're called butt kicker seats. Lol. Oh, for RPX. Interesting. Do I even have an RPX theater near me? I probably do. Let me look. See, yeah, I'm not seeing any definitive answers here, but I might have before actually. So yeah, definitely we'll look into that for future reference. Shoot, there was some other format that I was just thinking about, theater format, but now I can't remember what the heck it was. Oh, that's right. Screen X is the other, like, newer format. Don't have a Screen X theater near me, oddly enough. I'm sure we'll get one soon enough. That one I'm interested in checking out, though, because from what I've seen from, like, videos, it's like the screen covers yeah, Screen X. Like, it's like you got the screen, like, normal, but then there's two other ones that kind of are angled out on the other sides. I'm curious as to how that would actually work because it's kind of a neat idea, but I feel like it might be more distracting than anything else. Let's see. Dan saw No Way Home and Screen X. It's cool, but I don't find it that worth it. Excuse me. Yeah, that's kind of how I think I would react to it too. I feel like it might be just more novelty than anything. Like, did the Screen X like cut off any of the like? Were you not able to take in the whole visual experience? I guess is my question. Or was it just kind of was it too gimmicky, or like how did it work? Because I actually am curious. Like, I might have to try it out at some point if it means taking a little bit of a drive to figure it out. But yeah, it's kind of funny though when you talk about like movie theater formats like IMAX, because not every IMAX theater is created equal. Because I don't remember what like the size for like true legit IMAX is, but I don't think any of the IMAX screens in my area are like full true IMAX. Because some are definitely bigger than others. Like the one I go to all the time is, I think, the biggest one in Vegas. I think probably the biggest, most pure IMAX screen I've ever been on was the one at Universal Studios City Walk in Los Angeles. That was massive. Like when you think of IMAX, you think of that one. I have to assume that one's like proper sized IMAX. In fact, I've thought about driving to Los Angeles to go see the Super Mario Brothers movie in April on that screen, just because that'd be cool. And also, I want to check out Super Nintendo World too. That'd be awesome. Maybe do a Mario movie merch hunting video. Let's see, so Dan, and it's not the whole movie either. It's just certain scenes. Oh, really? And you get the full scene in front of you, but it kind of extends it or something, like almost how you usually get more screen in IMAX. Really? It's only for certain scenes? So, that's kind of gross sounding. So, like, the screen, so the screen like seemed kind of stretched out on the side or something? Ugh. That's odd. I thought it'd be the whole movie at the very least. Interesting. I still want to try it though, just because. And we got Anthony A. Perez in the chat. Glad you could make it, man. Congrats on the milestone, much deserved. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's definitely super exciting. And yeah, and also it was almost a year ago that I got to meet you in person, Anthony, which was super cool. For anybody watching right now, I was in Orlando almost this time last year for a Disney World trip, and yeah, and I just meshed. Anthony and I got to meet up at the Indiana Jones bar at Disney Springs. Got to hang out, talk YouTube and stuff, which was super cool. Got to meet you in person, and the big Rob Theory was there too. So it's always nice to meet fellow YouTubers and just kind of shoot the shit a bit. But yeah, thank you for checking out. That's the upside down. Yeah, I want to go to a better IMAX screen. Mine is fine though. Yeah, I mean, most IMAX screens in my experience are pretty cool, but then there are some where it's just like Yes, that's IMAX. Let's see here. Seems stretched out the side, kind of. Yeah, that's the part that concerns me. Might be more gimmicky, ScreenX is. Saying hey to Anthony. Let's see. Anthony, time flies. Can't believe it's been nearly a year already. Yeah, me neither. Still bummed we didn't think to take a pic. Yeah, that still kind of perplexes me a little bit because it's like there were 3 of us there and none of us were like, hey, let's take out our smartphones and commemorate this damn moment. So that's awkward, but we'll always have the memories though. Upside Down, got to meet Anthony in September. Oh yeah, because you did the Cinema Squad meetup in Orlando, right? Super cool. Yeah, I got to meet a lot of fellow YouTubers in 2022, which is crazy because in January I got to meet Anthony and Rob. Then in May, was it May? Yeah, it was May, got to meet Sean Chandler, went to that conference with him for like a few days. That was super cool. Got to meet Noel Diesel. He's a bodybuilder type. That was cool. There's like a meetup at like a vitamin shop or whatever. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to meet a couple more YouTubers in 2023. We'll see. Anthony, yeah, every time I see you upload a pic on a YouTuber, I'm like, yeah. Well, I guess that means at some point in the future we're gonna have to meet up again and rectify that situation. I'm sure I'll find an excuse to go to Orlando again in the near future. I definitely want to go back, especially with that Tron ride finally opening up. Got to see that in construction when I was there, which is really cool. I can't wait to finally try it eventually. Oh shit. We never finished the Punisher collab, did we? Oh shit. I forgot all about that. I am so sorry, man. Cause there's the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie that we still have to cover. Okay, I'm gonna get on that pretty soon because it's been a year, so my bad with that. Let's see, not sure if anyone asked, but what is your most anticipated 2023 release at the moment? Nobody asked, but I answered that before, but it's gonna be Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Definitely number 1, hands down, most anticipated of the year. I love Indiana Jones to death. I've been waiting 15 years for the next one. And that's going to show in my content pretty soon here with a lot of Indiana Jones videos. Coming in at a close second is Across the Spider-Verse. So can't wait for those. Let's see. Upside Down, Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and Ratatouille. Can't wait to ride those. Yeah, the annoying part is when I was there, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride was near completion, but it wasn't quite, so got to see a little bit of the exterior. The Ratatouille ride, I'll warn you now, Dan, because I went on that one. The ride is fun, but I would not recommend waiting 2 hours in that ride like my cousin and I did, because number 1, it was a 2-hour wait, which is way more than I would ever do if I was going solo. It worked out fine, so I was with my cousin, we played Heads Up for 2 hours and talked with the fellow Disneyers, but if you can get like a fast pass or get in there like at a good wait time, then yeah, but don't wait 2 hours for that ride. Let's see, Anthony, not yet, still with that Punisher collab, so yeah, I'm sorry for taking 12 months on that, but yeah, we'll definitely gotta round that out soon though. Alright, one more last minute addition. We got Movies and Trains Studios. What's up? Congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you very much, Movies and Trains Studios. It's great to have you here. No, you've I see like every time you click like on like one of my Instagram posts, so it's always cool to see that translate to other parts of the internet. So yeah, glad you can make it. Okay, so yeah, got quite a big turnout for this stream. I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah, so okay, we're coming in at 7:20, so yeah, we'll probably go for about another 10 minutes or so, kind of call it at 7:30. So if anybody's got any other questions, comments, concerns, now's the time. But yeah, just I guess going back to the Guardians of the Galaxy ride for a second there. I've heard it's really cool though, so I can't speak on that one. But yeah, it's give me an excuse to go to Disney World again, which I'm sure I will at some point. Especially since Universal is releasing that third park, Epic Universe, in like a year or two. Let's see, movies and train studios. What was your favorite movie of last year? Number one favorite, probably The Batman. It's such a well-made movie. Cinematography is fantastic. Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, all amazing performances. So many things it gets so right about the character. But some other favorites, just to kind of name them off, would be Nope, Elvis. Those are probably my top three. Top Gun Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Whale was really good too. And Avatar: The Way of Water was great. Saw it 3 times. Let's see, Anthony, Guardians of the Galaxy ride was great. Blend of Space Mountain, Expedition Everest, very cool. Although I didn't get to go on Expedition Everest when I was there because it was closed for refurbishment, which really sucks. I really want to ride that because I've seen many like vacation planning videos and stuff of it, and I was like, oh, I want to see that, like the big mechanical Yeti and stuff, but that's pretty cool though. Upside Down gets me more excited. Love Everest and Space Mountain. Yeah, Space Mountain's a fantastic ride. I love it to death. I feel like we'll get some sort of like Space Mountain movie sometime in the future. I think there's a lot you could do there. No, sorry about that. But yeah, that Tron ride, from the little bit I've seen from like behind the scenes photos and stuff, finished. Still haven't checked out Avengers Campus though at California Adventure. Haven't been inside an actual Disney. I haven't been inside Disneyland or California Adventure in like 5 years or so, but I've been to Downtown Disney, their shopping pavilion, since then. Like I was just there in June for VidCon and the Thor video, but yeah, probably gonna try to make a trip to Disney at some point this year. JMac favorite 80s films? Ooh, good question. My number one's Back to the Future. That's my number one favorite movie of all time. The Indiana Jones trilogy, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Batman 89, just to name a few of them. There's plenty more though. I'd have to like stare at my movie collection to give you even more, but those are just a few. Let's see, Anthony Perez, what's your least favorite comic book film of 2022? Morbius. God damn it, it's Morbius. Yeah, that movie. That was a movie I thought, it's probably going to be bad, but at least it'll be fun to talk crap about for a couple months. But came out of that theater and I was like, what the fuck was that? I mean, that's like the one time in history I've been able to just get out of a theater, drive straight home, come right into this room and start recording without jotting down my thoughts. I just sat down and was like, what the And then I also made that Morbius fan club t-shirt. I had that made ironically. That'd be fun to wear at the theater and be like, haha, let's go see Morbius. I'm probably going to do that again for Kraven the Hunter in October. I got a feeling it's going to be Morbius 2.0. Upside Down, the only one that didn't mind Morbius. That's nice. I mean, it's not 100% trash. I mean, Matt Smith just kind of hamming it up in every scene he's in. It was definitely the saving grace of it, but yeah, Sony, more Spider-Verse, less Morbius, if you catch my drift there. But who knows, maybe the Kraven the Hunter movie could actually be good. I don't know. I don't want a Kraven solo movie. I'd rather he be the villain of Spider-Man 4 or something, but we don't all get what we want, so there's that. Alright, so got about 5 more minutes, then just gonna call it a night on this fine Sunday evening here. But yes, so again, if you got anything else you want to chime in with, now's the time. But oh, speaking of which, Anthony, how do you feel about the upcoming Madam Web? Um, that one I'm more interested in than Craven. I think number one, it's got Dakota Johnson as Madam Web, so that's piqued my interest a bit. But from the reports I've heard of being kind of like a Terminator-esque story about like time travel and trying to like keep Peter Parker alive or so he doesn't like get killed off by somebody traveling through time, that could be really interesting. So I don't know if the movie's actually going to be any good, mind you, but that one's intriguing me a lot. So it's one of those that I'm definitely curious how it's going to play out. Then, of course, there's Venom 3 as well, which there's some reports on that, like tying into Madam Web and stuff, but who knows? I'm sure Venom 3 will be a good time as well, but Madam Web, I don't know what they're cooking up there, but it's gonna be something. Alright, cool. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, the background probably looks a bit different now. I've basically rearranged the bulk of the room. My desk used to be basically about where that is now. It's been part of why I haven't uploaded all month, just because I've been rearranging stuff in here. Just wanted to kind of refresh the background a bit and make the room a little more functional, more open. So, just a couple tidbits on some behind the scenes material there. Alright, but yeah, this has actually been a pretty successful stream so far. And right, we got another question from J Mac. Do you think Back to the Future could ever get a reboot? I strongly never, ever want there to be a Back to the Future reboot. And as long as Robert Zemeckis, Bob Gale, and Steven Spielberg are still alive, that won't happen. But I got a feeling Universe is gonna jump on the opportunity to reboot as soon as all of them are dead, which scares the crap out of me. But it's one of those things where, yeah, it'd be easy enough to do like a modern kid going back 30 years into the past, but I feel like a reboot is just gonna it's just gonna lack the heart and the integrity of the originals, so I would prefer they just leave Back to the Future alone. No more movies, please. But if you want to do like a video game or something, like the Telltale game from a few years ago, that's fine. That's totally different. But yes, we're down to the last couple minutes here, so I just want to thank everybody for chiming in for this live stream. But yeah, 1,000 subscribers, super cool. I think it's at 1,010 now. So again, thank you to everybody who's supported the channel for however long that may be. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating an even bigger milestone some point this year. But I'm just happy to finally get to this point. Alright, so yeah, probably gonna call it a night in a couple minutes, so if you got anything else you want to add in, now is the time. But yeah, I think got to just about everybody's comment. There might be one or two I missed. Let me just try to quickly skim through here a little bit. We got that one, definitely got that one, definitely got that one. So yeah, I think I answered just about everybody's questions. So if there's some I didn't, I apologize, but definitely appreciate everybody with all the questions. So it felt like there was an actual conversation going, which is cool because there's been a few times with these live streams where there were a lot of awkward gaps in between the questions where we're just kind of sitting here like, anytime now. So I think we got to avoid that for the most part. All right, and just like that, we're officially at the hour 30 mark. So, again, thank you to everybody for joining in on this live stream. And thank you once more for helping me reach over 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. It's a great way to kick off the new year with that awesome milestone. I think we're just going to kind of call it there. So, look for some more videos on the channel very soon. Movie reviews, IMAX, what have you. Upside Dan, good night. Good night to you too, Dan. I'm glad you could join in. But yeah, so again, look out for some more content very soon, and we'll see you. Hold up, Zach. Great stream, great channel. Have a good night. You too, Zach. But yes, again, thank you to all who contributed to the stream tonight, and yeah, we'll see you on the Brock Up side.